Thank you very much, Jeff, and I wanted to say a quick thank you to all the presenters today. I totally enjoy hearing stories and personal experience, and I hope to give you a little bit of my personal experience. But here's a news flash. We're not going to live forever. Fact is, we might not be in the same job forever. And did we really wake up this morning thinking about our succession plan? Probably not, and I guess it's okay in this fast-paced world that you didn't. But change is going to happen whether we like it or not, and it's up to us to plan for it. So with passing the torch, the word succession comes into play. It's the act, process, or rite by which one person succeeds to the office or duties of another. But succession would be absolutely nothing without a plan. A detailed proposal for doing or achieving something. I like scheme. That sounds pretty fun. Plan of action, strategy, formula, recipe. The intention or decision about what one is going to do. And like I have no plans to retire. I've never heard that one before. The intention, aim, objective, goal, target, aspiration, and ambition to me are just huge, powerful words when you're planning, because the world will get out of the way for a man or a woman with a plan. So there's our ownership group up there. And here's some stats. The family business comprises 80 to 90% of all business enterprises in North America. I had to triple check that one. That was quite outstanding. 35% of Fortune 500 companies are family companies. Another outstanding stat. But this is where it gets a little tricky. Only 40% of family-owned businesses will survive to the second generation. That means I'm in big trouble. But luckily we have succession planning in our blood as well as plumbing. But the danger of no succession planning is a good fear to have. If you don't have succession planning and your company is not thinking about it, I really think that the company could be at a great risk. With no leadership and no direction would equal low morale, low engagement with your staff, lower productivity, which would equal less profits, and pretty soon I don't think the company would be that fun to be a part of. You know, you'd have a higher cost of turnover and training. If you're not managing the entitlement, and the expectations of your employees, ultimately you're going to equal some hurt feelings, which is then going to equal a loss of reputation. Here's what we have done, and this is where the professionals in the room would really like me here. I'm hoping to get $20 from all of them. And some of it's just plain business as well. But when I was growing up in the business, I didn't think that I would be worried about all these things. And you can see there's quite a list. So what we've been doing last 20 years is that I've been involved is reviewing and updating the unanimous shareholders agreements as things change, as titles change, responsibilities change. We acquired a family trust and holding companies. My dad and uncle were very smart to start a family trust in 1991. We're in our second deemed disposition, and that has paid us in dividends, literally. Utilize tax planning such as estate freezes, and we're doing share conversions. We evaluate the business because it's always worth something to someone who's thinking of selling or buying, or who's on what side of the fence. Some people have big dreams, big plans, so the company's worth more to them. But it's really good to get that down on paper and have a high, low, medium. Also helps you with your tax planning. We maintained appropriate corporate and personal insurance. Engaged external consultants for business analysis and strategy. This was a huge event for us. Getting someone else to look at the family business to say, hey, Harry and Alex, the founders of the business, this is how we're going to do things now, or you guys have had some flat growth or no growth, and in the last 3 years, how do you plan to get some growth, because you're really spinning your wheels? So one bonus that happened when we had some external consultation in our transition is it really showed everybody that there was a transition. It was sort of announced official, and that paid us and gave the second generation a really good look at what we were doing and what leadership we were going to bring to the table. We hold regular family governance meetings. Communication and collaboration were just a huge part of what we do. You never want to have stuff under the rug or swept under the rug. We call it carefrontation, and so you want to be talking about things as they happen instead of having blow-ups and family conflicts that could be devastating. Participation in organizations such as CAFE have been invaluable. I know I'm speaking at a CAFE event here, but I could tell you our roadmap course that we took was just probably one of the turning points in all of our careers and in our company. What happened was we started to, we went to the Haskayne School of Business, met with other families, and we went through workshops, went through the three-circle model that was presented before, and we learned a lot about each other, a lot about entitlement, a lot about where we wanted to go, what roles we could play, what the realities of the shares were. So there's a lot of fact-finding there. But what I also liked about it was actually listening to the other families and realizing that we're not alone, and in some cases we're not so bad as the other ones too. But another great thing about CAFE that I've kept up with is the PAG groups, the personal advisor groups. And that's a confidential place where you meet with other family businesses, and you get varying degrees of expertise at all different levels. Some are presidents, some are just starting out in the company, and you sort of sit in the middle sometimes. But you get to learn about their business, their struggles. It can be a place to vent. It's also a great place to test your business acumen and hear a lot of business acumen. A lot of family businesses, people start at the bottom, and then they're working themselves up to the top. So there's lots of familiarity that goes on there, and it's great to have somewhere where you can share ideas and not bring them to the next board meeting and look silly and not look well prepared. So it's nice to have someone looking after your back. I'm also a member of Tech. I'm in Tech 218. I've been involved in that a year, and that's been much the same as the PAG groups. So I give high praises to that. And it's all about personal development and growing. What we've done is we've really encouraged growth and training and learning well beyond high school and plumbing school and business certificates and what have you. Our company's been really good at implementing technology innovations like clouds and custom software. I think that this is a sort of a great thing that's happening with technology. We're now able to put all of our information into a central place, so we're not as dependent if someone leaves the company on as much of what they were, where we have all their skills, their knowledge, their contacts kind of diarized, and everybody's working on the same page. So when someone else comes in to step into that role, maybe it's the right-hand man that we trained, it's really nice to have the legacy continue and not hiccup the company too much. One tip is a lot of the banking industry has free in-house succession planning services. So if you're thinking of selling your company, it's really good to understand that the bank is going to be very, very interested in who's going into the leadership role and the leadership chair moving forward. And that could be hundreds of thousands of dollars to your company. It could be millions of dollars to your company on goodwill and continuation and succession afterwards. Transitioning, very lucky to have the family that I have. We're quite supportive of each other. We've got into our issues before, but we always seem to come out ahead and on a common ground. One nice thing is that the transition didn't have to happen overnight. We were in the roadmap in 2004. My dad and uncle were looking at Mark, Sarah, and I, the next generation, coming up in the company, and they said, we better get these guys on the same page. And you don't want to shock the company either. You don't want to say, oh, look who we got here today. This is going to be your new boss, and sort of come out of the blue. Sometimes it's more important to know what you're going to become than what you are at the moment. Because if you can have a long-term plan or a long-term future that you're working toward, you're going to be a lot happier in what you do. And that definitely happened for us, defining the roles in leadership. Understanding transition helped me love my family more. And that's an interesting one because, I was a showroom manager, and then I got promoted to vice president of sales and marketing, which I loved. Then I became the vice president of the whole company. So that was quite interesting, and as my uncle, he is very operational, and that seemed to be a problem for me because I wasn't. I was more PR and sales and marketing focused like my dad. But for 3 years, I kind of sat back and thought, wow, I have to learn all these operations, which I did. But all the details and stuff that I wasn't necessarily didn't make me really excited every day going to work. But I liked the thrill of getting the jobs and doing great jobs. And someone kind of stopped me there and said, Jay, you don't have to be like your uncle. When you're the president, you can be who you want to be. And understanding that and taking that pressure right off was extremely valuable to me. And then, just as a bonus too, my cousin Mark, he's a journeyman plumber at Gaspard as well. He went up through the ranks, and he's just like his dad, and he's very operational. So now we've got the same complementary strengths that we had watching our parents growing up through the business. Now Mark and I have the same complementary skills, and I think we have an excellent transition and momentum going forward. Canyon's ingredients for success, having vision, definitely seeing that succession was something that we needed to do and plan on in the planning. Having a passion for the business. I can talk about toilets and jet tubs and cool faucets until the cows come home. If I didn't love it, I guess I wouldn't want to be doing it. I'd want to be selling mountain bikes or something like that and riding them too. But I've always had confidence. I think as transition was slow, it wasn't a catastrophic event that propelled me into the hot seat. But having confidence was something that I wasn't afraid of. I've always had my head up, my chin up, and I wanted to do it. Recognizing we were in the people business, they pay the bills, bottom line. You look after your customers, you do a good job. My dad always said, if you walk into a room, you never want to look behind your shoulder. You always want to have your head held high. And that really went a long way for me. Recognizing people and what we do. Yes, we can make mistakes, but it's how we fix it. And dealing with the emotions and cleaning up the mess, if you will, that's what we're prepared to do. Strategy and planning, yeah, we've done a whole bunch of that through collaboration and communication. It just didn't happen overnight, but that carefrontation again was really, really important. And honestly, having fun and having a great attitude can definitely play a good part and keep the energy up in your corporation. This is a juicy part, but learning from the mistakes of the generation before. My dad was, very interested in PR and motivating and drumming up sales and collecting and very active, very charismatic person. Learning from him, I would say he didn't really make any mistakes because I'm not that type of, that kind of personality where I'm going to beat up someone who is a leader and our family who did what it took to get the job done at the time, whether they liked to do it or not. This was very important to honor what my parents had done and sort of for the blessed opportunity to be in this opportunity and take the company forward. So learning from their mistakes, I would say, doing it this round, second generation, creating more of a work, life, and health balance. It's really no good if you're not healthy. You got to love your family. I love to see my family every night. Give them high fives before bed. These are the true essences of what I do, and to bring an energy to work where we can, because we have a lot of family in the company, it's really good it's almost like going to Canyon and having a family reunion every day. But it's really important to concentrate on all three of these things going forward. And I think that would be honoring the mistakes that happened in the past. Our succession culture at Canyon, we've gone from succession planning extends to everyone in the business. So we're looking at the people that are, just starting out, the apprentices, everybody in the business, not just the top, is going to be involved in some sort of succession. Because something's going to change, so you have to train people to know what the next job is, or what the next level could look like, or the next promotion. It would be, one of my dreams is to have Mark, my cousin, be the president of the company. We engage our employees to inspire discretionary effort, meaning it's really hard to get a lot of production out of people these days with all the technology in front of us and all the distractions that come with life. But if you ask people what they're doing, how they're doing it, and if they're happy in their job, there's nothing worse than having someone miserable in your organization, kicking the computer around or talking in the lunchroom. So our culture really does kick a lot of those people out, and because we are, striving for the succession and, going into the next level, and it's really important to plant the seed that there is a future in the company and what that might look like. We build people as a guiding principle. You all read in the papers today that it's really hard to find plumbers, really hard to find trades, and that there's going to be a huge deficit with all the baby boomers retiring. That couldn't be more true. But what we've always done, and it can be hard at times, is we train apprentices. Right now we have 64 journeymen and 44 apprentices. So what we're trying to do, or what we've always done, I should say, is we build our own labor force from the ground up. We don't let the media, the paper scare us. We plan on it, we strategize, we get the guys. We still hire plumbers that are coming through, but we find that if we can get new plumbers and train them to be the safest plumbers, the most up-to-date, and learning from our journeymen that are loving to train and love the challenge and the camaraderie, that we're building an excellent team that's not only helping us, or not letting us stay stagnant, it's really helping us grow. So when you have built-in capacity all the time, the phone doesn't ring saying, hey, where's your plumber? It's us going out there and saying, hey, can we do more for you? Retirement, true success is having someone replace you and letting your legacy continue on. We had an estimator that was with us many years. His name was TK, and Terry Kunert. He had an amazing track record with everyone. He, could turn, water into wine somehow, and people just loved him. And when he announced that he was retiring, I think the sky just fell, because we had so much investment into TK. But in our culture, what happened is TK told us, hey, listen, this is not happening. This is going to happen over a couple years. I'm going to train a replacement, and that's exactly what we did. When TK retired, his legacy continued, Canyon's legacy continued, and without really skipping a beat at all. And our estimator, our new estimator, was trained up, and oddly enough, he was with the company 10 years prior to that. So it was someone that got to start at the bottom and sort of work his way up to the top as well. So the old school fear of don't train your right hand because they're going to take your job is totally out of our organization. And for the reason too, everyone then can have happier holidays. It's really nice if you can go for a 2-week holiday and come back to a desk and it's clean and everything's handled. It's easier said than done, but we believe in happier holidays that way. So having a succession plan, well, that's really a retention plan. 50% of our 169 employees have worked 5 years or more with Canyon. So we're quite proud of that. And Canyon has had up to 17 family members working in the business at once. So sometimes when people say, hey, I run a family business, or business family, I should say, in cafe, but 17 family members are worried about sometimes they're worried about like a brother or a sister or their dad is, giving them a hard time. But 17 family members is truly a family reunion every day, and something that can be quite exciting at times, but I think we've got the right model here. And, when my dad was handing the keys over, saying, hey, you're the president now, or my uncle as well, they always used to say, it's amazing, Jay, how lucky you get when you work hard. And it could be, it's amazing how lucky you get when you plan. So succession planning is the key to managing inevitable change that's going to happen. And, being aware, proactive, and having a plan are sort of the cornerstones to running a successful succession plan and propelling your company into the second generations to come. So thank you very much.